Super low interest rates are here to stay. That was the message from Federal Reserve policymakers yesterday, but that's making it tough to make money for regional banks. As we continue our look at regional banks, we talk tonight with Kelly King. He's CEO of BB&T. Mr. King, welcome to Nightly Business Report. And certainly in the case of your bank, you just reported record quarterly earnings, a lot of lending, whether it's business loans or mortgages. Do you think that your bank can keep this up?
Well, thank you for having us, and yes, we think we can. We had as you indicated, a very good record quarter. In fact, it was our strongest record quarter in our history in terms of absolute earnings, and loans were up nicely, as you indicated. We think we can, even though I will say the economy is soft and we believe it's softening. We think we can continue to have similar kinds of performance as we go forward, because we have some unique product offerings, some unique niches, and frankly, because the market is so fragmented and volatile right now, we're moving market share, so we're pretty optimistic for our own company.
And you say you're optimistic, even though yesterday the Federal Reserve came out with a very gloomy forecast for the economy, which means you're going to have these super low interest rates. Isn't it tough to make profits when rates are that low for a bank of your size?
Well, it is. I mean, that is a real challenge for the industry, because, as you know, we borrow short and lend long, and so when you have in a protracted period of very, very low, historically low rates, and a relatively flat yield curve, it makes it very difficult for us. So that puts pressure on our basic spread business, between taking in deposits and making loans. But fortunately, we have a number of other businesses that are fee income businesses, another number of other businesses that are specialized lending businesses that don't have quite as much margin pressure as some traditional bank lending does. So it is difficult, don't get me wrong, it's difficult for us and for everybody else, but we think relative to the marketplace we'll be able to do well. But certainly we will be much happier when the marketplace itself improves.
Well, we've seen that a lot of banks, regional banks, in terms of dealing with this kind of slow growth environment, have been buying up or selling banks. Certainly, BB&T has a long track record of doing many acquisitions. You just announced an acquisition of a small bank in Florida today. Do you see doing more acquisitions and to diversify your portfolio of services?
Well, I do think diversification through acquisition is an important part of our strategy. It has been historically, and it will remain so in the future. We were very proud to announce the conclusion, the consummation of the Bank Atlantic merger in the greater Miami area on Tuesday. It's a really good $3 billion deposit institution. And so we would certainly hope to do more of those kinds of transactions as we go forward. There's not a lot of mergers actually happening now, though, Susie.
Okay, let me just wrap up real quickly. I've got to ask you about regulation. A lot of regulations coming out of Washington. What are you expecting, and what does it mean for your bank? And we have about half a minute, so if you can give a quick response to that.
Well, we're all struggling to deal with all of the rules that are coming out from Dodd-Frank. It requires about 330 rules. There are only about 100 out so far. There's no doubt, based on what we're already seeing, that it will gum up the banking system. It is not going to be good for banking. It's not going to be good for us doing our primary job, which is to help create jobs in the community. So we're braced for an onslaught of additional regulation because of Dodd-Frank. We hope it can be mitigated at some point in the future, but for the time being, it's a real constraint on bank lending and us helping grow the economy.
Well, good luck to you, Mr. King. Really appreciate you coming on the program. Kelly King, CEO of BB&T.
Thank you.